Could Lovie Smith be one and done with the Houston Texans? It would be a hell of a story. It would be the third time in the Caserio era where you were hiring a head coach. First time was a joke. You hired a guy in David Culley who had no business being a head coach. That was apparent from the very beginning. You cut a nice check for him to go away. He's richer than he's ever been. He got an opportunity he was never going to get. And respect to David Culley, I know he appreciated that. Lovie Smith was another guy. Nobody else was going to hire Lovie Smith to be their head coach at this point. Hell, no one was going to hire him to be defensive coordinator 2 years ago. But you almost seemed to luck into something that just felt right. After all the Josh McCown stuff, which I was open to, cooler heads prevailed. The Flores lawsuit came through, and the Texans realized, hey, we can't really afford to swing for the fences. We might just need an adult in the room and a process over results type of coach, guy who's got some skins on the wall, guy who understands football in the state, and a guy that people can relate to. So they hired Lovie Smith. I like that feel. I feel like they looked into that situation. I feel like Lovie Smith, or maybe they just came to that conclusion. I'll give them that credit. They came to that conclusion. But when you bring in a young quarterback, and that's where this all is coming into, this conversation is coming into play, and why Ross Tucker brought it up today on Payne and Pendergast on Sports Radio 610. When you bring in a young quarterback, do you hire a coach based on that young quarterback? I could see why some people think you do. I don't necessarily think that it's 100% a must, but I could see why some people feel that way. So let's just not even push back, and let's pretend that that is true. Let's pretend that the Texans have seen enough of Davis Mills to know he's not the long-term guy, and they're going to be bringing in a quarterback, and they want to pair that quarterback with the perfect coach. Lovie Smith and quarterbacks, maybe it's a lack of talent, but quarterbacks and Lovie Smith just really haven't vibed perfectly. I know he had Jay Cutler for a few years, but he ended up getting fired after a 10-win season there. And quarterbacks, it's not like his specialty. So if his fate is connected, Lovie Smith's fate is connected to Davis Mills, he could very well be a one-and-done coach, which, again, he wasn't going to get this opportunity anywhere else. That would be something that I'm sure would generate a lot of reaction. I also wonder, though, how long does Lovie plan on coaching? I don't know. I don't see like a 5-year plan from Lovie. Was this something that they discussed when the hiring was made? If Nick Caserio thought that Lovie was going to be linked to Davis Mills, then he had to have at least thought there was a pretty good chance that he would be looking for a quarterback in 2023. So is that a conversation they have? Is it a fluid line of thinking that comes, to Nick Caserio's mind when he's breaking this down? Who knows? But I think Lovie will be the head coach next year, no matter who the quarterback is. And I would be very, very surprised, but not shocked. Can Caserio afford to fire another coach? This is another discussion. You hire David Culley, you hire Lovie Smith, then you hire your next coach. I think he could. I think Nick Caserio has full trust of this organization to run a team, and I think he should. The only blemish on Caserio right now is the Rex Burkhead thing. Loyalty is blinding him, and he is neglecting a position that could easily be improved, the running back position, or he is failing to upgrade the position of running back for Patriot reasons. It feels that's just what it feels like. It feels like a father-son getting all types of playing time with the Burkhead thing. But I think he could afford to hire another coach, but this would be where the pressure was on. This would be where you're hiring the coach that you think is going to take you to the promised land. And it would be a more appealing job, honestly, because there is some talent. There is going to be more cap space next year, and that's where the thing would get. But the optics of firing two coaches in 2 seasons would be rough, no matter how much I say they weren't going to get that opportunity anywhere else, and no matter what they say. So at the end of the day, I don't think Lovie Smith is going to be one and done. But if his fate is connected to Davis Mills, then it might be a peace out type of thing. I don't think it is. I think Lovie's going to be here for more than a year. And if Caserio is willing to fire Lovie after this year, it's going to be because there's someone out there that he just believes is going to take the Texans to the promised land. Subscribe to the channel. Follow on social media at Landry Locker. This has been the Locker Room on YouTube. Lovie Smith, one and done? I don't think so.